I'm going to read North Korea. We were forced to eat grass and soil. The testimonies, one after another, have been damning, disturbing, and, at points, excruciating. A North Korean prison camp survivor told of a pregnant woman in a condition of near starvation who gave birth to a baby, a new life born against all odds in a grim camp. A security agent heard the baby's cries and beat the mother as a punishment. She begged him to let her keep the baby, but he kept beating her. With shaking hands, the mother was forced to pick up her newborn and put the baby face down in water until the cries stopped and a water bubble formed from the newborn's mouth. It's just one example. It's just one example of the kind of testimony heard during an 11-month inquiry into alleged violations of human rights in North Korea, and documented in a reported release by the United Nations Commission of Inquiry on Human Rights on Monday. The Commission concluded that North Korea has committed crimes against humanity. The Commission investigated issues regarding the right to food, prison camps, torture and inhuman treatment, arbitrary detention, discrimination, freedom of expression, the right to life, freedom of movement, and enforced disappearances, including abductions of other citizens. The panel reported a stunning catalog of torture and the widespread abuse of even the weakest of North Koreans that reveal a portrait of a brutal state that doesn't have any parallel in a contemporary world. It remains to be seen that what impact the report might have in whether China, a member of the UN Security Council and staunch ally of North Korea, will block action seeking human rights redress. Collection of evidence. Since its creation last year, the Commission of Inquiry has examined satellite imagery, evidence and testimonies from more than 100 victims, witnesses and experts regarding North Korea. Some of the testimony were held confidentially because of protection concerns for families still remaining in North Korea. International attention on North Korea has previously focused on holding its nuclear weapons program, but in response to increasingly detailed reports of human rights abuses emerging from the isolated state, the UN's Human Rights Council elected in March to establish the Commission. For many North Koreans who testified, it was an acknowledgement of the sufferings they endured living and fleeing the region. North Korea is said to practice guilt by association, punishing members of a person's family and succeeding generations for one person's perceived misdeeds. Pyongyang has refused to cooperate with the investigation and rejects the Commission's validity. The Commission of Inquiry requested The Commission of Inquiry requested access to North Korea and also invited its authorities to examine its evidence and also contribute the process. In May 2013, North Korea sent a letter saying it totally and categorically rejects the Commission of Inquiry and has not answered subsequent letters, said Michael Kirby, the chair of the UN Commission of Inquiry. The commission comprises 3 appointees, chaired by Kirby, a former Australian High Court judge, along with Soldier of Indonesia. Through its official news agency, KCNA, North Korea in August condemned the hearings as a charity to hear testimonies from human scum. Live in imprisonment. Throughout public hearings held in Seoul, Tokyo, London, and Washington, D.C., former North Koreans told of torture and imprisonment for watching soap operas or trying to find food to sustain their families. Many of them end up in prison camps for crossing the border to China or having family members who were suspect to the region. The North Korean prison camps have survived twice as long as Stalin Soviet gulags, and much longer than the Nazi concentration camps. One witness said that young male inmates in North Korean prison camps became so desperate for food, they would eat live worms or snakes caught in fields to feel something in their stomachs. Because we saw so many people die, we became so used to it. One prison camp survivor told the commission, "I'm sorry to say that we became so used to it that we didn't feel anything. In North Korea, sometimes people on the verge of dying would ask for something to eat, or when somebody died, we would strip them naked and we would wear the clothes. Though alive have to go on. Those dead, I'm sorry, but they're dead." Ji Hyun told the commission of her time in a North Korean prison. She was sent there after being repatriated from China. She befriended a young girl named Kim Young-hee and became like a sister to her. While they were forced to work in the fields, they were looking for a type of grass to eat, as their prison rations were not enough. We finished our work and we were about to pick up the grass or the plants that we know we could eat, Ji told the commission. And then the guard saw us, and he came running and he stepped on our hands, and then he brought us to this place and he told us to kneel. They were forced to eat the grass along with the roots and the soil as punishment. Kim became increasingly sick with diarrhea after eating the soil. There was nothing I could do, Ji said. I could not give her any medicine. And when she died, she couldn't even close her eyes. She died with her eyes open. I cried my heart out. She wrapped Kim's body in a plastic bag, and the other prisoners buried her and about 20 other bodies from the prison on a hill. Orphan and homeless in North Korea. We covered the hole with clumps and frozen earth. But after a week, when we went to the tomb, it was gone. The bodies were not there. We felt strange when we were going up the hill. We later found out that the old woman who was guarding the place had his dogs eat the bodies. He raised 5 dogs, and the dogs were eating the heads and the body parts of dead bodies. This is a reality of North Korean prison, Ji stated. She ended her testimony saying, "I am embarrassed. I am ashamed to be here. There are people dying. There are people dying, but because I was so desperate to make ends meet for myself, I was not able to help, and I'm guilty of it. I lived like a prisoner. The reason for my living, the reason that I had to come to South Korea, in addition for my own freedom, is to survive and live on behalf of those who didn't make it. People died for no reason, to help their souls rest in peace. I have to be accountable for their lives." I'm going to read 2 former members of Pussy Riot detained in Sochi, Russia. 2 former members of all-female Russian punk band Pussy Riot were detained in central Sochi on Tuesday. The husband of a member told CNN, Maria and Nadezhda were recently released from prison ahead of Sochi Olympics. The 2 were near the seaport meeting journalists when police took them in. Her husband said, "Local police have not yet confirmed the detention." The pair was planning to record a song in English called "Putin Will Teach You to Love the Homeland." She posted photos to Twitter of what she claims is herself in a car being taken to a police station. She posted a tweet saying they had been detained near the Church of Mikhail and were accused of committing a crime. Officers forced them into a police van, she said. She, who are highly critical of President Putin, went to Sochi to protest against the lack of freedom of speech in Russia. The former band members were thrown in jail for nearly 2 years after they were convicted of hooliganism and inciting religious hatred for performing a riotous punk song slamming Putin in the Moscow cathedral and posting a video of it online. A 3rd member of Pussy Riot was released in 2012. In February, other members of the band distanced themselves from them. I'm going to read about Google cracking down on Flappy Bird clones. Both Apple and Google appear to be cracking down on new apps taking advantage of the demise of Flappy Bird, the addictively simple casual game that became an unlikely sensation before its creator abruptly pulled it off the market last week. Even before Flappy Bird topped the download charts last month, a cavalcade of knockoff games began appearing. A quick search for the word Flappy in the Google Play Store on Monday returned 250 results, from Flappy Pig and Flappy Fish to Flappy Troll, Flappy Cat. Yes, it's the web's beloved Neon Cat, and even Flappy Beaver. Then came Vietnamese developer Dong's abrupt announcement he was going to pull Flappy Bird from online stores. The resulting wave of publicity created even more demand for the game, and others like it. But now, developers say both major mobile players are pushing back. This is just not my week. Rejected. We found your ape game attempts to leverage a popular ape. Ken Carpenter of Mind Juice Media tweeted Friday. Which ape? FB doesn't exist. Carpenter said he had submitted a game called Flappy Dragon. Several developers responded to his post, saying they had gotten similar notices from Apple and Google. Neither Apple nor Google immediately responded Monday to a request for comment. An Apple spokesperson told tech blog The Verge that the company is cracking down not just on apps with the word Flappy in the title, but all apps that appear to be trying to trick customers into thinking they're associated with or replacing a popular or original. One developer told App Battleground that he retitled his popular game Flappy Bee as Jumpy Bee several days ago after getting an email from Apple saying he had 48 hours to change the name. After existing in relative obscurity for months, Flappy Bird took off in popularity late last year and became the most popular free ape in both Apple's App Store and Google Play, a store for Android apps. At its height, the game was earning an estimated $50,000 a day through advertising, an obvious reason others hope to piggyback on its success. It said he was pulling the game, which took him 2 or 3 days to create, because it had become an addictive product. After he put it, smartphones with the game already installed began popping up on eBay, with some sellers and asking tens of thousands of dollars. While the app is no longer available, he is still earning money off it, viewed by the millions of people who had already downloaded it. I'm going to read about reality show snake handling preacher dies of snake bite. A pastor who started in a reality show about snake handling in church has died of a snake bite. Jamie Coote died Saturday evening after refusing to be treated on snake salvation. The ardent Pentecostal believer said that he believed that a passage in the Bible suggests poisonous snake bites will not harm believers as long as they are anointed by God. The practice is illegal in most states, but still goes on, primarily in rural South. Coots was a third-generation serpent handler and aspired to one day pass the practice and his church for gospel in Jesus' name on to his adult son, Little Cuddy. The National Geographic show featured Coots and cats handling all kinds of poisonous snakes. Copperheads, ratters, cottonmouths. The channel's website shows a picture of Coots, goated, wearing a fedora, even after losing half of his finger to a snake bite, and seeing others die from bites during services. Coots still believes he must take up serpents and follow the Hollowness faith, the website says. On Sunday, National Geographic Channel spokeswoman Stephanie sent CNN this statement: in following Pastor Coots for our series of snake salvation, we were constantly struck by his devout religious convictions, despite the health and legal peril he often faced. Those risks were always worth it to him and his congregants as a means to demonstrate their unwavering faith. We were honored to be allowed such unique access to Pastor Jamie and his congregation during the course of our show, and give context to his method of worship. Our thoughts are with his family at his difficult time. In February 2013, Coots was given 1 year of probation for crossing into Tennessee with venomous snakes. He was previously arrested in 2008 for keeping 74 snakes in his home. According to National Geographic, Tennessee banned snake handling in 1947 after 5 people were bitten in churches over 2 years' time, the channel says on the show site. On one episode, Coots, who collected snakes, is shown trying to wrest a western diamondback out of its nook under a rock deep in East Texas. He's wearing a cowboy hat and a t-shirt that says the answer to Y2K, Jesus. The pastor is helped by his son and a couple of church members. He'll give up just sooner or later, one of the members says. Just be careful. The group backs 2 snakes, which a disappointed Coots says hardly justifies the trip to Texas. Catching 2 snakes the first day, of course we would hoped for more. Coots says in the video, we knew that the next day we was gonna have to try to hunt harder and hope for more snakes. I'm going to read, is Barcelona becoming less of a club? That's the long-standing motto, an image that Barcelona Football Club has wished upon the world for many years. It is an image the club has carefully over decades, but could the deal that brought Brazilian star to the club in June 2013 result in a Spanish giant being known for more than just their football, and not in a good way? For the mood drifting out of Camp Nou, a stadium that has long been revered as a temple of the global game, is one of these areas. Barca, as if anyone needs reminding, is one of world football's most successful clubs on the pitch. Over the last few years, it has patented a brand of football that has swept all before it, winning admirers around the world. Off the pitch, the club prides itself on its all-round approach to life, keen to portray its open, integrity and caring side, and having refused sponsorship on its shirts for many years because taking money for it sullied the spirit of the game. Perhaps more significantly, Barca has long stood as an emblem for the region of Catalonia, a way to show what Catalonia is the world. As he recently told CNN, with Barca widely portrayed as a political spreadhead in the bid to fulfill the ideal of independence from Spain. But now Barca finds itself in the dock. Last month, a Spanish judge ordered an inquiry into the deal after a member of the fan-owned club, Jordi Cases, alleged a misappropriation of funds during the transfer. Cases' primary complaint was that the amount paid to bring him from Brazilian club Stanislaus was more than the reported fee of 57.1 million euros. In fact, as the club has since admitted, Barca paid 86.2 million euros for him. One day after the judge agreed to hear the case, Barcelona President Sandro Rosell, against whom the case was opened, relinquished his prestigious position despite denying any wrongdoing. He was swiftly replaced by Vice President Josep Maria. But therein lay another problem. The new man could also become embroiled in a judicial inquiry if Cases chooses to take action against him. We brought the case against Rosell, but when he saw the contracts, he saw that they had also been signed by, told CNN World Sport. He says the new president's name is on all but two of the many contracts he signed to lure him. He added that Vice President Fayez signed the other two, meaning he too could face legal action. Fayez had also been in the spotlight for another reason. He was a rare public victim of Lionel Messi's era, when the Barca superstar took umbrage to FA's comments in December that the club had no obligation to review the Argentine's contract.